Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Bernie here, giving you yet another video here on the channel, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. And today, guys, we got a very interesting story coming out of Brian Windhorst from ESPN, and that is, of course, talking about teams could be potentially selling their first-round draft picks. But before we get into that, please remember to hit that like button. Also, please remember to hit that subscribe button if you're new. Can we get at least 10 likes on this video? That would be greatly appreciated, as we are trying to climb to 1,000 subscribers. That is kind of my high hopes and expectations. But nevertheless, we are still going to be reporting the news, and we will be having videos here with also my friend Sean, and hopefully we'll have Brad on the channel as well, as he's very insightful when it comes to NBA topics and even some Seahawks topics. But nevertheless, we're here to talk about basketball, and enough of me promoting this channel. Like I said, teams could be selling their first-round draft picks for money, and that's, of course, coming from Brian Windhorst of ESPN. He goes to say this: there could be NBA teams who are exploring selling their first-round picks this year in order to raise money, with league revenue significantly down from the 2021 season. I suspect that first-round draft picks will be for sale in this draft. One team executive said, "We haven't really seen that in a decade." You know, the last time we saw this was the Denver Nuggets selling their first-round draft pick, which ended up becoming Rudy Gobert. And obviously, the 20 class is supposedly the weakest draft class that people have seen. They don't really like the people in it. Of course, you have guys like LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman, Danny Avdija, who's actually playing in the Israeli Basketball League, which is actually on right now as I'm recording this video. I believe the score is 54-39. I don't know how to pronounce these teams, so I'm not going to butcher them. But nevertheless, you know, this draft class, like everyone said, is kind of one of the weaker ones. And when it goes to that, and now teams are selling their draft picks, I find it, I'm like in the middle of it, but I lean towards, I don't think that they should be able to sell them. I think that teams should be given what they're dealt with and end up learning to use those draft picks for good, whether that's to draft, you know, the star player or whether that's to draft the role player. You know, this draft, although, like I said, not the strongest, could lead to a potential key piece to a championship winning team. Whether that's LaMelo Ball being the second star or maybe the first star, I believe he'll be a first star. But let's say, for example, like a James Wiseman, can he be DeAndre Jordan plus, or can he be a guy that has touch? Can he be a guy that is able to finish around the basket but also able to shoot the ball, play deep? Like, there's a lot of players that have what ifs in this draft, and I think that there's a lot of players that can provide great help to a team that's looking for it. And I think the problem that I'm seeing is that teams are not willing to give those players the chance. I think that they're willing to kind of entertain the idea of maybe selling the draft picks. Obviously, like I said, the COOF, the pandemic, has obviously cost this teams a lot of money due to concession stands not going on, ticket sales, items like jerseys, and whether that stuff is being sold at the arena, people aren't going to that. But nevertheless, I still think that there's enough money to where teams aren't going to be panic selling their draft picks. I think we could see maybe one or two, whether those are the teams like in the top 10 that are like, well, we don't really see anybody in this draft that we want because we think that LaMelo's the #1 draft pick and everyone else is kind of down below. What's interesting about this is, like I said, is that Rudy Gobert, a very defensive player of the year candidate, and all first NBA player, especially on the defensive side for all NBA defense, was picked up because of this sort of deal, because the Denver Nuggets didn't really like anybody in that draft. And we saw what comes of it. And I think that we could also potentially see the same thing, whether that's, you know, maybe the Lakers take a chance on a young kid. I mean, if you're able to sign them for how much the contract's going to be, I think that's going to be like absolutely nothing to these teams, and teams are going to be willing to take on those contracts. Obviously, the Lakers applied for some loans, which is kind of shady. But nevertheless, you know, they return the loans, and I think that they do have enough money to sign these guys. I mean, you're paying guys like LeBron James, paying guys like AD. I think that you can squeeze in a couple, 5 to 10 mil players, especially rookie contracts. I think you were able to afford it. But nevertheless, I want to know your guys' opinion on this story. Now that teams are able to sell their first-round draft picks, do you think that we'll be seeing a case where, maybe half the league does that and they sell them to the contending team, or will we see a situation where maybe it's just one team? I would love to know your guys' comments and opinions in the comment section down below. And let's move on to the next story, which is actually more interesting, and that is, could there be another super team, the Heattles? Could we see another Heattles in Miami? And like I talked about, we're going to be talking about a potential situation that could be going on in Miami. Now, we know that Bam Adebayo is probably one of the most improved players, and I loved his game ever since watching him. I think that he's a guy that you could see that he has the raw potential to become a better player, and he's shown that throughout his time with Miami. Now, the biggest question is going to be, and this is, of course, coming from another Brian Windhorst story, is that the Heat are unlikely to extend Bam Adebayo to preserve cap space for the 2021 season. Now, like I said, the COOF, the virus, and the pandemic has really caused a lot of situations where these teams are not really wanting to spend money next season because they fear that they've lost so much money and they want to gain more money back. But the cool thing is that the Heat have a strategy as they are trying to get not only Bam Adebayo contract extended, but also sign guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo and Victor Oladipo. Now, this would be an awesome kind of super team, maybe a Heatles 2.0. Giannis, a guy that, let's see what happens. If the Milwaukee Bucks are able to get to the NBA Finals, I think he stays. But if the Bucks are not able to win and they lose to the Celtics or the 76ers, then we'll kind of see a situation where maybe Giannis is like, I've done all I can here in Milwaukee. I know that I said that I would stay here, but at the same time, I'm trying to win NBA championships. So we could see a potential situation where we have Giannis go over to the Heat and try and win a championship there and follow in LeBron's footsteps of trying to become the Heatles, win multiple championships, multiple all-NBA, multiple MVPs. That is something that I think Giannis is trying to strive for, especially the championship part. I think that Giannis is at that age now, 24, 25. I believe he's 25 now. But, he's getting to that age where he's like, I'm starting to want to win championships. And I think that if I'm Giannis, I'm smart and I'm looking at different situations as to, can I win here in Miami? Can I win here in Milwaukee? And kind of weigh the situation, especially if you're able to create cap space for guys like Victor Oladipo, who obviously is going to be a third guy on this team, I believe, because I believe Bam will be number 2, even though Victor Oladipo is more of a shooter. I just think I see a lot of great opportunity for the Miami Heat to become a Heatles 2.0. And we know Pat Riley is the master negotiator. We know that the owner of the Heat is willing to spend the money. So we'll see what happens with the situation. But I thought that this was an interesting thing. I mean, this is what he goes on to say, Brian Windhorst. He's not going to get the max contract this offseason, said Brian Windhorst on Bam Adebayo, even though I think he should, because the Heat are going to save money for the 2021 summer. That's a storyline that I can almost guarantee you. Bam will not sign a contract extension this offseason. And like I said, they're very interested in pursuing Giannis and they're very interested in pursuing Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo will be about 29, like maybe 30 years old by the time the season starts for the 2021 season. We can only hope that we see this super team, because I think it would be fun. I know that people hate the super teams, but if you look at the numbers, if you look at the analytics, people actually like when teams are super teams. I mean, we see that the record numbers, especially for the Golden State Warriors Cleveland Cavaliers series, like we saw how awesome and great that sort of back and forth was, the rivalry. Obviously, the last season where they faced each other in the finals was a little lackluster, just due to the fact that, Kyrie Irving wasn't there, and it was kind of just LeBron James by himself along with Kevin Love. But it's going to be interesting to see what comes of this. Do you guys think that Bam Adebayo would be the missing piece? Not the missing piece. Do you think that they should re-sign him right away, or do you think that they should wait till the 2021 season? And how do you sell that to Bam? That's going to be the biggest question that I want to know from you guys. And also, do you think that Giannis would leave Milwaukee for Miami? And would Victor Oladipo welcome a change? Obviously, he's moved around a couple times. What are we going to see from this Miami Heat team? And also, let me know about the first story talking about teams selling their first-round draft picks. I would love to know your guys' comments, opinions in the comment section down below. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it here on The Charge. My name is Bernie, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. Obviously, we got basketball coming in 2 days by the when I'm recording this. Hopefully, this video will be out maybe a day or maybe on the day of the NBA. But it would be awesome to get your guys' opinion on Bam Adebayo and also the selling of the first-round draft picks. Like I said, my name is Bernie. Please remember to hit that like button. Also, please remember to hit that subscribe button. And I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.